Hey everybody, welcome to the Dynasty Hoop Show. I'm Brad.
I'm Craig.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in all things NBA. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some recent extensions that have been signed by some prominent stars in the Western Conference. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Christmas Day matchups.
We're excited for the Christmas Day matchups. We're excited to talk about the full schedule being released next week. But for now, we'll have to deal with Christmas Day. But let's start off with the signing, shall we?
Yeah. So, first signing was CJ McCollum signing a 3-year, $100 million extension with his Portland Trailblazers. So, obviously, I really like the move. CJ is great. I think in the Western Conference Finals and for much of the Western Conference semifinals, CJ was the Blazers' best player. I mean, Dame looked pretty exhausted, pretty worn out. CJ is great at getting buckets. He's fantastic in the mid-range. He's obviously great at shooting threes. He's obviously just a walking bucket. That's what the guy does. What it does mean, however, is that Portland is completely committing themselves to this backcourt for at least the next 4 years.
Yeah, Damian Lillard, he signed an extension right at the opening of free agency, I believe, or
for
just
all the money.
Yeah, for all the money. It might have been a couple days after it started. I don't know. That was so long ago. But yeah, they're riding and dying with McCollum and Lillard for the foreseeable future. And hopefully it doesn't break down too quick. Lillard's getting up there in age, being a 4-year college star before he got drafted.
29, getting up there in age. Man,
by the end of this,
what a world.
By the end of this contract, you know what I meant.
I know you meant. So, Portland, they're kind of in a conundrum because a lot of people were talking the last couple of years that they might want to think about blowing it up because they may have hit their ceiling.
And then they made the Western Conference Finals.
Now, was that Western Conference Finals run legit or was it not? Because I'm not so sure.
I would say it's legit. Why would you say it's not? Why would anybody say it's not legit?
Well, I mean, they beat a broken, unconfident, soon-to-be completely dismantled OKC team in the first round. And in the second round, yeah, they beat the Denver Nuggets, but Denver had to scratch and claw their way past a not that great San Antonio team in the first round. Like that series went 7. This series went 7, and they still advanced even with Damian playing so poorly. Like, are they really great or are they not? Like, I'm not one way or the other.
Okay,
I'm genuinely curious.
I don't think they're great per se, but I do think their run was legitimate. Like, I wouldn't hold anything against their run that they made. Like, they earned that, in my opinion. All those caveats that you mentioned, that's just part of NBA basketball, and that's just part of the playoffs.
Play who you play.
Yeah, you play who you play, and it happens. What else does Portland have going for them right now besides those two? I mean, they just traded for Hassan Whiteside, which one of the rumors I heard is that they'll probably flip him for Love, but I don't know if that'll happen.
They might flip him for Love. I think that they mostly did it so they've got some sort of cover until Nurkic gets back, because Nurk was awesome for them last year. I think if Nurk were healthy going into the playoffs, they wouldn't have gotten swept by Golden State. I'm not saying they would have won, but they definitely would have been swept, because Nurk he's really good. So Draymond signed a 4-year, $100 million extension. My first thought was that the Warriors got a really good deal. I mean, I get the caveats with Draymond. Draymond, a lot of people feel, is undersized. He isn't in the best of shape. They think that he might break down. But, man, when that guy's on, like, if we saw him during the playoffs, in the Western Conference semifinals, the Western Conference finals, as soon as Kevin Durant went down, he was awesome. He averaged a triple-double. Like, he rebounds, he passes, he plays insane defense. He might not be the greatest shooter in the world, but he also plays with the greatest shooter known to man. So that's okay.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, Seth's brother.
Seth's brother, the other Curry.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit on the opposite side of that one. And I'm 100% willing to admit that I am wrong if I end up being wrong. Because, like you said, Kevin Durant being on the team may have played a part in this, but Draymond had his worst career year in the last year. His three-point shooting was below 30%. His scoring averages were down. His assist rates were down. Rebounding percentages were down. Everything was just down. So it actually kind of surprised me that the Warriors were willing to fork out $30 million a year for a player who may or may not still have it.
Well, I mean, look at his playoff run. If he didn't still have it, would he have been able to do what he did during the playoffs? And everybody has said that Draymond is the straw that stirs the drink with the Warriors. He's what kind of gets them locked in. He's what's kept them hungry. He's what's kept them going for it.
Yeah,
so I get it.
I won't deny his intensity. He probably is the heart and soul of that team. If not he's not the best player, obviously, but he might be one of the most important players on that team. But it just surprised me that they were willing to put out that kind of money. And, he might not be that effective going forward.
In today's basketball economy, where a guy like Malcolm Brogdon's great, but Malcolm Brogdon's never made an all-star team. He's coming off a season where he scored 16 points a game. I get he's great, but he's getting paid $21 million a year. Draymond, who is a multiple-time all-star, who's won Defensive Player of the Year, who's been to the finals how many years in a row, is making $25 million. I mean, I think in terms of everything, it's a well below market value deal. Now, we'll see how it ages. We'll see how he's playing when he's 32 or 33, but I don't know. I think the Warriors got a steal.
It'll probably work out for them, but...
Now, it doesn't help them financially when you look at all their salary commitments, because Steph's getting paid $40-something million for the next few years.
Clay as well.
Clay is getting paid $30-something million. They've got D'Angelo Russell now. So they are pretty much in salary cap purgatory for the next few years.
Yeah.
And
even if they do flip D'Angelo Russell, even though they're adamant that they're not going to, they're going to try to get something to match his salary because they don't want to lose that salary cap overage that they have to work with.
Yeah. So now let's talk about Christmas. So
I'm a little disappointed. Last year I got to go to the Christmas game because it was hosted here in Utah. We don't get that game this year. But for all of you fans who do get that game this year, I'm excited for you.
So the matchups. All right, let's start with talking about what I think is probably the least intriguing of the matchups, and that is Boston-Toronto. Now, these are both good teams. Toronto obviously are the defending NBA champions, but they also lost Kawhi Leonard. The Celtics also lost their calling card in Kyrie. Yeah, they got Kemba, and Kemba's awesome. But it's a matchup that's kind of lost some of its luster.
It kind of feels like a consolation prize for the teams for losing their best players.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, Kawhi's not a best player. He was Toronto's best player.
Yeah, I mean, who's really excited for the Marc Gasol and his cancer matchup?
Nope,
not so much. I mean, it's still Christmas, it's still basketball, still watch it, but it's kind of probably the lowest.
For that being the marquee day in the NBA, that's not a marquee matchup. Boston has the history, that's why they're getting the game.
Yeah.
And Toronto is getting the game because they won the finals. That's why you get it.
Yeah. So probably the next least exciting game is Denver and New Orleans. Now, I love the Pelicans. I'm going to be a low-key Pelicans League Pass fanatic this season. But the Pelicans are probably not going to be a playoff team this season. And Denver's going to be really good. But this game, to me, just screams the NBA trying to market Zion. That's
absolutely
100% why I think this matchup is what it is. They looked at Denver and said, here is a potential Western Conference contender this year versus Zion. End of story.
Let's watch this game.
Now, hopefully Zion throws down some nasty 360 windmill dunk that gets the people going and makes it a Christmas to remember forever and ever.
I think this game might be a little bit more compelling than Brad here is laying it out to be. I actually think the Pelicans might have a better record than some of the other teams who will be playing on Christmas Day. They might be Eastern Conference teams, but they might have a better record than some of those other teams. We'll see how that one shakes out. All right, the next game on the Christmas Day list is the Warriors and the Rockets. This is a repeat of the second round from the last playoffs and from the Western Conference Finals of 2 years ago. But more importantly, this is the James Harden, Russell Westbrook versus Steph Curry and whoever's healthy on the Warriors at the time.
Willie Cauley-Stein.
Willie Cauley-Stein versus Clint Capella. That is the most intriguing matchup in this. I'm just kidding, internet.
Now, admittedly, I enjoy watching Steph Curry play. I think the last 5 years, it was a little tough seeing the Warriors always be winning and always be dominating and always winning championships.
And always knowing that they're going to win.
At the end of the day, when you kind of peel away all the layers, Steph Curry is just a fun player to watch. So any game that he's in, even if they're playing Charlotte on a Tuesday night in mid-December, or January for that matter, is going to be fun. So I think that this is going to be a really fun matchup, and it's always fun to just see him and James Harden just kind of go at it.
They always play their hardest against each other. And it's not going to be as compelling as it used to be just because of the injuries to Klay Thompson and because Kevin Durant's gone. That probably means that we're going to watch Steph go off for 75.
Yeah, and James Harden go off for
76.
68, something like that. But it should be a really fun matchup. And I'm still really intrigued to see how Russell Westbrook and James Harden are going to be playing together. And they could still be trying to figure it out by Christmas. I don't think it's going to come as easy.
It's not going to come as easy as they say it's going to. No.
So it'll be fun. I'm really excited for that one.
Sorry, James Harden. It doesn't just work itself out. It's going to take sacrifice from one of the two of you. We digress. Let's just actually go ahead and move on to the Bucks and the Sixers. That one is going to be fun. I want to watch Giannis try to dunk it over Embiid at least 10 times.
It's going to be the battle of what should be the two best teams in the East. The two teams that are going to be duking it out for a spot in the NBA Finals. It's going to be Giannis versus Embiid. It's going to be...
I want to see Ben Simmons shoot a three-pointer.
Eric Bledsoe against Ben Simmons. Mini LeBron against new age pseudo LeBron. It's going to be a good matchup, and I think it'll be a really good barometer as to which team is exerting themselves or establishing themselves as the premier power in the Eastern Conference. So really excited for it. I think it'll be a great game, and I think it'll be really interesting to see the Sixers supersized lineup with their just huge lineup now and what they do to try to counter Giannis's drives to the hoop. I think that'll be the most intriguing part of the matchup.
Yeah, and then we've got the marquee matchup. You want to lead us into that one?
The Battle of Los Angeles. The Clippers and the Lakers.
Might be the most star-studded Christmas Day game that we've had in a really long time.
So we don't know if this is going to be their first matchup since we don't have the schedule yet, but if it is, I mean, all the intrigue of Paul George saying he wanted to go to the Lakers only to end up on the Clippers, with Kawhi Leonard's entire family being huge Lakers fans and him ending up on the Clippers, against LeBron, against Anthony Davis, and that honestly pretty good team that the Lakers were able to put together after Kawhi gave them the shaft. It's going to be a matchup that could easily be a Western Conference Finals preview. It's more than likely going to be some form of a playoff preview. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be popcorn worthy. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be everything that Hollywood portends itself to be. Pure entertainment.
If I could go to that game as a neutral fan, I would be there in a heartbeat. Anybody would be. That would be one of the most entertaining games to go to all year long.
Yeah.
And I hope they haven't played each other until Christmas Day. That would just add more and more to the intrigue to me.
Here's what else is really exciting. Just the whole battle of LA in and of itself. LA is absolutely Lakers town. Clippers are trying to establish themselves and make their presence felt and become a thing in LA. That crowd, we can almost guarantee, is going to be probably predominantly Lakers. I'm really interested to see if allegiances in LA shift if the Clippers are really good this season.
We actually worked at a company that had an office in Los Angeles, and one of the phrases that I heard when I would make fun of them, all the Lakers fans becoming Clippers fans when Chris Paul was there and Lob City was happening and everything like that, the rebuttal I got was, nobody's a fan of the paper clips. And I think that narrative's slowly shifting away. I'm excited to see that game. That'll be a fun game to watch.
All right, guys, thanks for watching today. Go ahead and give our video a like. Feel free to subscribe. Leave any comments or feedback. We love that sort of interaction with you guys. And we look forward to seeing you the next time here with the Dunk Dynasty Show.